My finance mistakes that made me homeless were accumulating debt, having one stream of income, not having savings, and investing all my eggs into one basket. I'm going to get into each one so that you can avoid my mistakes. Welcome to Finish First Financially, a channel dedicated to helping millennials and Gen Z to get out of debt and build savings. I'm Goran Radanovic. After I got my 2 finance degrees, I worked as an accountant. And I was making a decent living, but I wanted to live quite a flashy lifestyle, which I couldn't afford. So I financed a luxury BMW, and anything else that I wanted, which I couldn't pay with cash, went onto my credit card. So eventually I get tired of this job and I decide to quit to open up my own nightclub. But because I don't have this income anymore from being an accountant, I take out an overdraft to supplement the income. And I also didn't have enough money to open up the nightclub, so I took out a personal loan. So now I've got the vehicle finance, I've got the credit card debt, I've got the overdraft, the personal loan, and no income. Eventually the club takes off and it's successful, but my partner and I are not getting along, and he decides to fire me. So now the only thing that I was involved in was with this club, and that was the income that I was receiving. And all of a sudden it stopped because I was fired. And I made the same mistake of having only one stream of income once I became a finance writer. I had a client that was supplying me with work on an ongoing basis. So it was pretty much like a full-time gig. And one day, out of the blue, I get an email from them to say that they were shutting down the content department and they no longer needed my services. So there I was, left without an income once again. And that taught me that multiple streams of income are absolutely crucial. Even if you have a full-time job, look for a side hustle where you're working on it 2 hours every night after work. You're working on it on weekends, because layoffs have been implemented across industries. You've seen big companies lay off workers. People have lost their jobs. So don't think that just because you're working for a big company that it can't happen to you. Make sure that you have a backup. It's so important. Then after I got fired from my nightclub, not only did I have all this debt and not have any income, I didn't have any savings. Before I opened up the nightclub, I had some savings, but I dedicated all of that to the nightclub. I put it into the nightclub. So now, there I am with no income and all of this debt and nothing to fall back on. And I was eventually evicted from my place because I couldn't pay my rent and I ended up on the street. It is absolutely crucial for you to have a safety net. Before you get into this whole thing of going all in on debt, paying everything off, you need to protect your home, the roof over your head. You need an emergency fund of at least $500 to $2,000 preferably. That is for emergencies such as a water pipe that bursts, or you need to replace the tires on your car. That's an emergency fund. And on top of that, you need to have savings for 6 months of essential expenses. And those are mortgage or rent, utilities, and food. It's all good and well to pay all of your debt, but what if now all of a sudden your income stops and you don't have any savings? You're kicked out onto the street. What use was it to pay off that debt and to focus to put all your money into the debt when you don't have any savings? So that's why I say the first step to financial freedom is to have that emergency fund and to have savings for 6 months of essential expenses. It is absolutely crucial. And then my last mistake was putting all of my savings and the personal loan that I had, so virtually all of my money, into this nightclub. I thought that it was all going to work out, that this club was going to be so successful, I was going to make a lot of money from it, and I was going to pay off all my debt, and I was going to have savings again, and everything would be fine. Unfortunately, it didn't work out like that. And that's how life is. When you've got everything that you've got and you believe in this project, you feel like it's going to solve all your problems, you're much more inclined to put all of your money into it. And regardless of what it is, whether it's a business, whether it's a stock, whether it's property, that investment can eventually be valued at zero. So a wise thing, a good rule of thumb to follow is invest only the amount that you can afford to lose. You obviously heard that, but it's so difficult to follow that principle once you encounter an opportunity that seems like it's going to solve all your financial problems. So hopefully you've learned something from my mistakes. I've definitely learned from those mistakes, which has helped me to get out of debt and to accumulate savings. And I can help you as well to get out of your financial rut. So get in touch with me at finishfirstfinancially@gmail.com if you want to come onto the channel so that I can look at your finances and we can structure a way to lower your expenses so that you've got money for savings, and then you can start paying off the debt. Once you've paid off the debt, you can eventually accumulate even more savings. So get in touch with me so that we can get you on the path to financial freedom.